Well, you see that? That's been going on all day. It's Sunday the 27th, I think it is. And I've just been sitting in the house today, bored, not doing anything to speak of. So I thought I'd give you a quick tour around the house. I hadn't had a chance to show you the place since I did some work on it this year. I'm going to put a link to the old video before I even started on it, so you'll get to kind of compare them. But this is the living room. Didn't do much in the living room. I just painted the ceiling. That's all I did in here. So there's not much to show you there. And the kitchen, there wasn't much in here that had to be done either. I just repainted part of the ceiling also that I didn't do a very good job on before. So you can see that's how that is. And then here's where you start seeing the difference. This is the hallway. I painted all of this, trim, walls, ceiling. Put new doorknobs on every door. New light fixture. You can see that there. I'll back up a little bit. It's kind of one of those crystal thingies. Painted inside the closets. Also, some painting supplies there. Painted insides of the doors. And bathroom, painted this, same color. Put new plates on everything. Of course, there, and there. And new blinds up. I put new blinds everywhere also. New shower curtain rod, new shower curtain. All that. This bedroom, the ugly painting. Same deal here. This camera doesn't like looking at the light, does it? Painted ceilings. Put new vent registers in each room. New light fixture in this one, of course. Plates, blinds. You can't see it, but they're there. There's one over there. Whole 9 yards. This one. You remember this room was kind of dull, dingy white. There's the butterfly. This room is the one that had the wallpaper on it, and so I never did get all the wallpaper residue off of it, and it already had a couple coats of paint on it, so I wasn't about to try to do much with that. So I just gave it, you know, got it painted, and that's where it's going to stay. So that's this third bedroom. Remember, this was also dingy. Painted in here. Not much can be done with these heaters. They're not hooked up, they don't work anymore. Door was in kind of rough shape. I guess somebody must have got trapped in here and kind of panicked, but it's okay. It'll do the job. I'll show you right here. They can see that looks like there's something been going on here, and there has been. This is where the thermostat goes in the house, and that was the old one there. At least that's the front of it. And that thing went out about a month or so ago, and so I had this cheapo Hunter programmable thermostat put up, and tried that, and the wires don't match up where they're supposed to go. It's a big bunch of BS. So I'm either going to have to get another programmable thermostat and hope it works, or I'm going to have to get another one of these, which are obsolete now. I don't even think they sell these new anymore. So, and I hope that fixes it. I hope there's nothing major wrong with the air conditioning system. So for now, I've been using my good old radiator heater. It works good. As long as it doesn't get down below about 40, it keeps it pretty warm in here. But I'll tell you the story about all this. There's your phone again, Retro Vintage Items 27. You know, I've been mentioning off and on that I'm getting ready to sell this house, and I tell you, selling a house and buying a house is not something I want to do again anytime soon. I've been writing this Realtor.com website and Yahoo Real Estate and any other ones I can find. I've been looking for houses and looking and looking and looking. And the story goes, this was my parents' house. They bought this house about I guess they bought it in April of '87. That's what, 24 years, almost 25 years. And of course, they've passed on now, and me being a single guy, you know, it's just not really the kind of house I want to live in. It's a nice enough house, and it's fine if I was married and had kids, you know, 3 bedrooms and all that. But you know, for me being, like I said, a single dude that likes to work outside and work on cars and things like that, you know, it's just not quite cutting it. So, you know, I need less house and more space, more land, so I can make do with like a 1 or 2 bedroom house, no problem. And so that's what I want to do. I want to sell this house and get out. And where I'm going to go, I don't know yet. You know, we live here in Alabama. We live outside of Guntersville, and as the story goes on that, is my family's not from Alabama originally, thank goodness. My parents came here in 1957 with the government to work at Redstone Arsenal. My dad's people were originally from like Pennsylvania, and my mom's folks were from Kentucky. And they met, meaning my mother and father met, while each family was living in Las Cruces, New Mexico. And each family had moved out there and lived there, of course not knowing each other at that point, but had lived there for like 15, 16 years. And so they just ended up here after being married just for work, and that's where we were born, here. So now that my parents are passed on, we don't have any relatives, meaning me and my brother, we don't have any relatives here at all, nowhere even close. Closest relatives are in Kentucky, and the rest of them, I got an aunt and uncle and cousins that live in Texas, and I have a brother and sister and nephew that live in Arizona outside of Phoenix, and I have an aunt and uncle and cousins that live, and their families that live back in Las Cruces. So most of the family is out west, and my thoughts are strongly to move out west because I've been there, I visited, and you know, I like the area. I'm not crazy about the heat. It'd be something to get used to, the climate. But you know, I've lived here for 40 years, and I've seen enough pine trees and mountains and hills to last me forever. You know, people that you guys all live in the desert out in that area out there, I know y'all would say, well, wow, you know, we've seen the desert enough to last us forever. And I understand that. That's just how it is. When you live someplace for a long time, you get sick of it. Some people do. And you know, my brother is not going to move. I know he's not, and I don't. You know, that's something that's hard to do, is move off and leave a member of your family, especially if him or her's going to be by themselves. But you know, he's pretty well set as it is, and you know, I just can't put aside what I would like to do with my life to um, accommodate him. Which don't take that the wrong way. I don't mean that meanly at all. But what my hopes is, if I move out that way, I hope that at some point he would actually grow interested in moving out there too. Then the whole family could be out there. I think that'd be the best thing. But in the meantime, I'm facing a lot of work here. I've got to get this place sold and get packed up and get everything, find a house and get moved. And I mentioned another thing too. You say, well, maybe you got friends out here. I do have friends out here in Alabama, but not. How do you say this? Not close friends that I do a lot of stuff with. They're good friends, but my friends are all married, and they don't want to do anything except married people stuff now. So I'm kind of the odd man out. I have nothing to do anymore except what I do on my own, and that's okay. I mean, I can find plenty to do by myself, but as far as like going out and going to car shows and working on cars together and stuff like that, it's just not happening. They just don't do it. The people I know here don't do that anymore. They're not, they got kids to raise and all that stuff. So it's not gonna be a big deal to me to go off, and it's not like I'm leaving a whole bunch of friends behind. I can make, of course I'll remain friends with them, but I can make new friends and hopefully have a lot of things to do in a new place. So I think it's going to be for the best. I've just got to find a house now. And the only pain is going to be, once I get this place sold, I only have a certain amount of time to get out. And that's not a problem because there's not much left in the house. It's all in storage. Because, you see people that advertise houses for sale and they take pictures and their damn house is just cluttered with all this stuff. And people hate to look at that. I hate to look at people's house. It's all their stuff in it because I can't see the house. So it's all out. I'm just been sitting here living like a monk for about 2, 3, 4 months now. And that's getting old. So anyway, that's the plan. It's going to be basically mean starting over in a way, but I think it's for the best. There's more money to be made working in different places in Alabama. Alabama has made some definite improvements, but as far as culture and social life, and I'm not talking about drinking or bars or strip clubs or crap like that. I just mean stuff to do, good stuff to do, like car shows and all that kind of stuff. And places in different parts of the country are really ahead of us, and I'm not going to miss Alabama at all, not at all. It's essentially for a single man and somebody likes to be outdoors. If you don't hunt or fish or watch football on Saturday, then it's just a boring ass place to live. Totally, it just is. So that's what I'm going to do. There might be a surprise. I might end up living here a little while longer, but I doubt it. I'm just going to cut the cord and go on. So, no telling where I'm going to end up at. I have noticed that typically the more harsh the climate out west, the cheaper the housing prices are, like down in southern Arizona, like between Phoenix and Tucson. You can get a house pretty cheap. But you go up north in Arizona, they get more expensive. And you go into New Mexico and Colorado and Nevada and California, they start getting more expensive again. Texas is pretty reasonable. So I suppose, good Lord willing, that's where I'll land at, somewhere out there. And go from there. I've got several places saved. I won't show you those right now because there's no point in it. But that's the plan. Get on out. Get out of here. So anyway, guys, guess I'm going to wrap this up. I'll cut this off and get it posted and everything, and we will talk to you in another video. See ya.